Yes, people, welcome back to Weekly Surgery, the Albert JTV practice. Hashtag episode 4. But before we get into it, people, let's hit the intro. Yes, people, like I always like to say, like Martin Tyler said, we are live from the Albert JTV practice. Welcome to the yellow carpet, looking at my background display. But yeah, guys, episode 4, man. Got the gang back together, got the brothers in the live stream. So man is very, very happy. We're all very tired though, man. It's been exhausting weeks. But we got the brothers back together again. People, as I always say, smash that like button and subscribe to Albert JTV and follow my esteemed guests on their Twitter handles in the boxes you see it. Let's quickly go to the chat, people. Who's saying hello? Yeah, Russ is in there. Russ, first time gold medal, son. Ain't seen you for a while, but good to see you, bro. Russ, check your busy calendar because I know how busy you are, mate. I need to get you on, mate. Thank you. Yes, Van Totti's in the chat. Go on, Lots. Yes, lads. Favorite time of the week. Lottie, you are too kind. My Northwest bestie. Russ is in the chat again. Russ, you're too kind, man. I couldn't do the show without my esteemed panel, so much love to these guys. But further ado, I'm going to introduce my first amazing brother on the screen. RJ Will, Stretham's finest. How you been doing, brother?
I wish Stretton felt the same way. I appreciate that. We'll take that.
We'll take it, bro. Take it.
We'll take that. You know, no one's representing Stretton out here on the YouTube scene, so it is what it is. Well, I'm good, man. I'm good. How are you guys? How are you?
No, not bad, man. Blessed to have you on again, man. Of course, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, because usually with myself, I like to have a bit of a schedule, but I did say to the guys yesterday, I'm going to sort of have a tiny bit of a schedule, but kind of improvise, should I say. But yes, now he's back again. Long live the king. And I'm not talking about Thierry Henry. The man, no, Chris, you from Croydon? I don't know where you live. Croydon, Streatham, Tooting, wherever the hell you live. I can't remember.
Croydon,
right. Croydon's finest, man. Kesh, welcome to the show, bro.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, no worries, man. No worries, bro. We're going to get this cracking, mate. And last but not least, my bro who came down from Manchester to see his first Arsenal game. Great day, man. Not just because of the win. Weather was quite decent, actually. That's quite a help. Met some amazing people. So I was glad you enjoyed it, mate. Good game. Great seats, by the way. I was quite shocked, to be honest with you. But yeah, brilliant. I hope you enjoyed it, man. Yeah, how was it for you, man?
No, it was brilliant. Obviously, Arteta gave us a call in it to see how the bird eye view, tactical things were going down. Now, them seats were brilliant. We got to see everything. Like shape, structure, transitions. So it was good to see. And I think I got a better picture of kind of the direction we could be going in. Obviously, it's still really early days, but it was amazing, obviously, meeting everyone. Obviously, met Lottie as well. That was amazing. And obviously, Dan... surprisingly, obviously, we met Kevin Campbell that day as well, so that was really good. Obviously, we knew we could meet the likes of lead judges and stuff like that, but the regular fan goers. But it was quite honoured, like the love that we received as well, both of us, and it was amazing. Honestly, it's like I played 90 minutes that day.
No, it's a good point. No, it was because obviously, when we got to the ground, it's difficult. As I said this to Souls, and you guys will vouch for this. Trying to meet people at games, right, is very difficult because people drink at different pubs, people meet at different times, people want to go and get something to eat, different turnstiles, different blocks, 5 million people in the toilet, and there's so much going on. So to have got Soul to meet the amount of people we did, I think we nearly met everybody, to be honest with you. So Soul, yeah, to meet Casey, treated us with great warmth, said some great words that I'll never forget personally. He embraced us like he knew us for years, and that goes a long way to see someone who I grew up watching football, and he's there. They're chatting to him as if I've known him for about 15, 20 years.
I felt like the
feeling.
footballer. I know that sounds a mad thing, innit? It was like the way he introduced us, like it was mad. It was just crazy, like the love as well. And then obviously the shout out and Highbury squad as well. After with all our pictures and stuff, that was amazing as well. Like they didn't need to do that, but it's the little touches that does make the night, and just like how 24 hours can change you.
Yeah, big up Sophie and KC, man. And also Lottie, thank you for sharing the pictures on Canon Chat. I know you did that as well. So big up to you, Lottie, as well. You and G. So let's kick off the show, man. Going to start off with Arsenal. I'm going to throw a couple things at you, probably non-Arsenal related as well, because it'd be interesting to get your thoughts actually, because I've kind of thought this for a while in terms of the subject we'll talk about after the initial subject about Arsenal. So I'm going to come to Kesh first. Obviously, and 10 games unbeaten in all competitions. I'm going to keep it quite simple in terms of what's impressed you the most in the sort of 10-game run, and what is maybe the doubt still or the slight concerns for you?
I think what's impressed me the most is the little bit of grit that we've kind of found. I know it's only 10 games, it's a small sample and everything, but there's a new lease of life in this team. Like, if you look at the squad that's been playing recently, like, there's no Emery signings in there. This is all his players. And he's sticking to a consistent 11, which I think is giving us a lot more, stability, shall I say, compared to last season where it was just chop and change, not knowing your best 11. The only concerns that I'll have is just, like, I know the likes of AZ Maitland now has done well and we managed to get the 3 points, but it'll be good to see how we manage when the likes of Partey go. That's my biggest concern. Because I know we won and everything, but you can see how much the quality of the football went down in terms of ball progression in the centre of midfield. It wasn't quite there.
Yeah.
So going through to the busy Christmas schedule when Partey departs, it'll be interesting to see how we get along. Coming to January, I do believe that the club will probably go out and get a central midfielder to help us along the way.
Yeah,
because it's definitely needed. So yeah, that's my biggest concern.
Yeah, big up to you, man. Yeah, this obviously that African Cup of Nations, or AFCON to shorten it, starts on I think January the 6th. Obviously the tournament starts on the 6th, but the players are obviously going to leave before that, and there's going to be some crucial games missed. You make a good point, Kesh. I'm going to bring in RJ. Obviously, we are going to have some players missing, like many clubs in the Premier League will do. I still don't understand. Someone please explain to me why the AFCON during the season. I still don't understand that. And this is going way back, by the way, when I was watching Okocha and Sunday Elise winning it for Nigeria in '94. It's a long time ago. But it hasn't changed. I don't know why that is. But yeah, RJ. So what's your kind of thoughts in, like I said, with the same question, and like your start with your concerns first, and then obviously go on to a positive with what you've seen in 10 games.
I mean, I think Kesh kind of touched on the concerns, people like AZ Maitland-Niles. I kind of feel like, is he going to be stepping up when the likes of Partey and that are gone? And I know sometimes he can be inconsistent as well. That midfield area for me, even after the summer, I still felt like, we missed out. We should have got someone else there, maybe with some defensive qualities if we're going to have a central midfielder. Also another one, which, I mean, look, they're all learning along the way, and that's something I think we all had to kind of like bit our tongue with. And some people are just kind of like, all right, cool, fair enough. It's just, when we play teams like Liverpool and City again and all these other teams, it's kind of like, I'm not sure what we're going to do, how we're going to handle ourselves there. So for me, that's the concerns. The positives, again, it was touched on, the back five. It's the back five now.
Been banging on that, yeah, 100%.
Goalkeeper, defenders, fine. Smith Rowe, coming out of his shell a lot more. I've said it on my channel. I think we've replaced Aaron Ramsey with Smith Rowe. You guys can give me your opinions on that, but for me, that's just generally how I feel with that. Saka, get better, but I still kind of worry about it. But other than that, yeah, and he's actually changing things up for once. So I think it's kind of like having a lot more of an open mind compared to like last season. I felt like the 4-2-3-1 was kind of beaten down, and then later on you just started switching things up. It was like, wait, what? But now he's kind of like got the players on side with certain formations, and it's kind of like, all right, cool. Plan A, plan B. So yeah, that's all I have to say on that.
No, well said. Big up, RJ, man. G Talks, my bro. Thank you for having me on your channel yesterday. Definitely want to come back on again, man. Great vibe with yourself and the N5 lads. We want to see you back, boys. So hopefully you'll come back soon enough. But yes, so I was coming to you. Ryan touched on Saka. I mean, we was at the game obviously against Norwich, and not just that, mate. There's games. I don't know, Kesh and Ryan. I'll probably get your thoughts just about Saka quickly when I finish with what Sol's got to say. But he looked out on his feet against Watford. I maybe I was the only one that saw that. I don't know, but I think there's been quite a few games where I'm thinking, Mikel, like, see this and take him off. Like, not because he's not an integral part of the team, but because he's out on his feet. Like, to make the change. But yeah, about Saka quickly, Souls, and obviously your thoughts in terms of the same question as well.
Yeah, no. So on the Saka thing, I think he's too integral to the way we play. There's a drop of kind of the flow of the game, should I say, when Pepe comes on, and I think there's still an issue for me with Martinelli not taking his chances when he does get given them. As much as, I love the guy, don't get me wrong, I love Martinelli, but I think there's still something where he needs to develop an area of his game before I think we see the consistency from him. And I do see him as a striker because every single time he runs with the ball, his head's down. He doesn't look up. And it was more apparent, obviously, when you watch him in the stadium. I was like, come on, put your head up and find the space. Like, stop looking down and running with the ball. But things like that, look, they'll improve. I think Arteta's definitely got the capabilities of coaching those things out. And this is why, obviously, this is why I've said we need an attacker and we need a midfielder. Whether we go for a direct striker in the summer or in the winter, we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But in terms of kind of the 10 games, I think my only concern is it took him 2 games to get it right after Xhaka was injured. As much as we may not like Xhaka, I think obviously Mikel does. And it took him 2 games to get...
He definitely does.
Yeah. And it took him 2 games to get it right. And I think it was evident against Brighton and Crystal Palace that we had no control in the game. We weren't holding possession well. The midfield didn't really look like it was right. But then he got it right after that, and I think he split the time in half because last season, when we had Kieran Tierney out, for example, he started putting Xhaka at left back and all of that, and it took him 4 games to realise to put Saka there instead. So I think he is learning, and I think he's a little bit more open to ideas. But I think in terms of praises in the 10 games, our fluidity and transition in play has been incredible in terms of seeing how we can transition quickly. And I was saying this to you on Sunday as well. We don't even defend. I know that sounds a bit stupid to say, but we don't defend. We're just in the right place. And I know that sounds a bit of a weird terminology to use or a phrase to use, but it's just we're in the right places. We never really get beat. And it's like every time the ball gets played, it's like Ben White or Gabriel are there to cut it out. We're just in the right places at the right time, whether that's in midfield or defence. Bar that one stupidness that happened in Ramsdale. But I can give him that because that's one mistake in 10 games.
It was going to happen. It was going to happen.
Yeah. And I think that's fine. I can give 10 games, 1 mistake. I'm like, yeah, cool. Because you expect 2 or 3 mistakes, really. And then you start getting concerned when it's more than that. Because it's always the case of 4 good games, 1 bad game, and you're like, all right, cool. You can let that go. But I think transitional play, the fluidity, the goals are coming in. I think, of course, we're like 1 or 2 players away, but we've always said that. And I think the mentality of this team and the culture of this team is massively, we've got an elite mentality because last season, or even season before, even under Wenger, we lose that Crystal Palace game. We lose against Brighton. And I think we've stuck in it. Yes, draws on good. I will admit that. I'm not going to sit here and go, oh my God, they play brilliantly. But I think we lose those games if it was any other season. So I think there is a bit of resiliency in this team. And that's, I think, a positive to see.
Yeah, well said. You know what? That's a very good point because there's games this season, and I'm sure Kesh and Ryan will agree, where a few years ago we would have lost. That Brighton game is a big example. I don't know how we got a point out of that game, but we did. But there's you know what it is, and I've banged on about this even during pre-season and before the start of the season, but in-depth conversations with RJ, we talked about we just need to see a more settled 11, and Kesh has mentioned the chop and changing, and I said, you know what I want to see, and we now as Arsenal fans, as RJ said, we have not just a good centre back or one or two or a fill-in right back or left back here and there. We actually have a foundation of an entire back five that we can actually probably hang our hat on and say, you know what, we can trust our defense a bit more. If any Arsenal fan wants to tell me of any age group generation where you can look at an Arsenal defensive unit, yes, I'd take into consideration it's only 10 games into the season, where we've gone through a season or seasons where we looked at our back five and thought, you know what, yes, you know what, I can rely on them. Because I haven't felt like that for years. But with these guys, I've got that impression. But yeah, so Kesh, going to come to you quickly about Saka. Any concerns in terms of the tiredness, or you surprised Arteta hasn't sort of put off a little bit earlier? Or
I do feel he needs a bit of a rest. I'm not too concerned. I do feel hopefully over the Christmas period we'll start rotating a bit. As Sol said, Martinelli hasn't taken his chance, and hopefully.
Yes, do you think he's had a lot of chances though?
He hasn't. You know what? He hasn't had a lot of chances, but you know the thing with Martinelli, I feel like he's more of a transition player. He's a player that you don't really want in the build-up. I feel like our system revolves around possession and recycling the ball and actually controlling it. You know, he plays at one pace, and it kind of reminds me of when Foden first came in at Man City. Like, he played at one pace, and reporters used to ask Pep all the time, like, why is this young lad not playing? Like, he's that good. And Pep's like, his time ain't here yet. His time will come. And now you see over the last 18 months, Foden's actually developed a lot more where he slows it down, he controls the game. He's not playing at one pace. Martinelli plays at one pace. He doesn't interchange people and link up. Like, it's just run, get your head down and go. So I feel that's something that hopefully over the next 18 months will come eventually.
Kesh, that's a great point. That's a very good point about Foden and the comparison with maybe what Martinelli needs to work on and develop in terms of Mikel Arteta actually going, you know what? He has given me a problem for team selection on Saturday or Tuesday, whenever we're playing the games, because of bloody BT Sports and Sky Sports changing the damn fixtures. But that just happens, man. But RJ, come to you quickly. Not so much a little bit about Saka, but also I think Normski's put in a question there. Actually, do you want to take that question? Actually, lads, do you think we should double up on Mo with Nuno and Tierney next week? RJ, take that question how you want to take it.
I wouldn't. If you're trying to go to a back three, I wouldn't do that. I personally, as much as I love Kieran Tierney, I think he's been pretty poor this season. And I'm one of those dudes where if you're playing good, I'm not going to drop you. So I think Tavares should stay put as he is. He's done well. He's rapid. That guy is absolutely rapid.
Yeah, the energy is insane. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I need that in midfield as well. I need that in midfield. But
it would help, innit? It would help. It would help. Yeah, it would help.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But honestly, I just think the only thing with Tavares, I still need to see him like under pressure defensively to see how he sorts himself out. That's my personal opinion. I do like Tavares, but was it Saka? Was the question?
Yeah. Just in terms of the should he be taken off earlier or tiredness, or do you think he's too integral to the team? How do you see it?
It's a very difficult one because over the last few weeks and even a little bit of last season, I remember we were all talking on a show once, and we were saying about Saka needs a rest and etc. And I remember the Leicester game when we won, Saka wasn't even used, and we won that pretty damn well. And then when he came back, he was a bit rusty. And we were like, "Ooh, what's going on here?" But That's gonna happen. Young player, you know what I mean? Like, it's gonna happen. But now it's like he's so integral to the team. I kind of am with Kesh here on the side where it's kind of like he's there. Like, you know, Sol's even said it there. It's so important. My only concern is I don't really want to run him into the ground to the point where, how can I explain? It's like he hits his ceiling too early, and then as he gets older, he just starts to get that big decline. That's the only thing in the back of my mind. But I'm not really trying to think about it like that.
Yeah. But you know what I would say?
Just take him off a little bit earlier. Go ahead, Kesh.
You know, looking on the outside, you always think, the player needs a rest. But in today's day and age, they have sports scientists, nutritionists that's advising the coaches of what they need to do. Like when they're gonna hit flat line and hit red. Like I'm sure the people in the background is aware of that and everything. And we tend to talk about players playing too much, but the likes of the Mbappes, the likes of the Arlas, they're playing week in, week out. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's that much of a concern. Maybe it was just a bit of a fatigue because he just that period of the game over the 70th.
He looked finished against what
over the 70th minute. You know, he's gassing out. But he wasn't the only one. To be fair, he was not the only one. And I think it's a statement of how much more we're working harder now. You know what I mean? Because he wasn't the only one. I think Tamiyasu looked like he was huffing and puffing as well. So the players are working hard. So credit to them, you know.
And they should bloody work hard. It's about time.
They should.
But yeah, listen. When I had my little show on Lee Judge's TV, and I talked about sort of the sort of resurgence, resilience so far, because don't want to get Arsenal fans coming at me to, you can do air to yourself. Like, I don't talk like that about Arsenal. People will see my content, they will know. But I think the back five has been absolutely integral, man. Absolutely integral. The Kesh mentioned it earlier, and a lot of people have seen it. I've seen more of a physical side and not to be bullied. Watford tried it on Sunday. They was very physical. It's lucky to actually only have one man sent off. And I think, like I said, Gabriel and Lacazette's quite a physical player anyway, but likes of Gabriel, Ramsdale, to me, are integral to that in the team. And it started from when we played Burnley away, when actually Westwood was getting a bit too clever, and Ramsdale with Gabriel just stepped in, man. Even Sambi backed up. Sambi's went in the wing. Like this, we're not going to be intimidated now. When teams are still going to try and do it anyway. But you know, and like I said, when we played Villa a few weeks ago, the way my man Gabriel, Colossus King, dealt with Ollie Watkins in that opening 3 minutes. Are you mad? Are you trying to step to our Brazilian king? Are you crazy? And they set the tone. They do set the tone, and I love Gabriel and the partnership with Ben White. It's amazing. I said to you on Weekly Surgery, I think the second show, I'll stick my neck on the line for Ben White, and I don't do that with hardly any Arsenal players over the years. But with him, listen, people are seeing the just rewards. It is quite funny though, I must admit, because apart from when I do my own content, I do pay attention to other channels as well, and a lot of praise for Ben White now, when that wasn't really the talk. It wasn't quite a while ago. Oh, is he really that much better than Rob Holding? Is he just another English player who
the one that too much? It was.
There's a few people. I'm not going to mention names because obviously I'm not about that. But there's a few
Kunde. That one really wound me up over the summer. People was like, "Why are we not going for Kunde?" I was like, "You're only looking at Kunde because of his French passport and saying that he's that much better." But when you actually break it down and look at both the players, you look at technical ability, you look at how they win the ball. Yes, Kunde is he wasn't better aerially in there. It's just that stats over that course of the season suggested that. And when you look at the strikers that he's coming up against in the Liga, you can't really make that conversation comparison. Like, you know what I mean? Compared to physical target men like Ashley Barnes and all those guys over here. Like that league's got no relevance to the Premier League. You know what I mean? And with Ben White, like the one thing I've always pointed out in the summer about him, and I said it in the Chelsea game where Mari got bullied, I said Ben White wouldn't stick on Lukaku and let himself pinned. What he would do is he will drop off, wait for the ball to be coming, and he will nick in front. That's what he does. That's what he does best. He times his challenge and he nips in front of the players. You can see it from that goal that we scored against Watford. He wasn't even in the picture where the camera was, and then he just came from nowhere, nicked in front, got the ball. That's what he's good at.
And Kesh, that's the thing. What makes me laugh, and RJ and Souls, I'll get your thoughts quickly. Is that, and I've mentioned this before, and I'm happy to say it again and again and again. To be honest with you, I could understand if Ben White was playing in another league in another European country or a league you never even heard of, and Arsenal were linked with him. But he has been in your eyesight for a few years in English football. What is it that you haven't seen? Unless it comes down to what I've always said before, how much football do you watch outside of watching Arsenal? Because I'm not surprised what I've seen with him. Kesh has said it beautifully. Like, what are the reservations? He's not going to be prime Franco Baresi. Listen, one of the best centre backs I've seen play, and Kesh had him in. I think Kesh and Souls had him in your best world 11s. I think you both did anyway. Fabio Cannavaro wasn't the biggest centre back, but he was outstanding. Like, people use that. Take the price tag out of your eyes and the head and the fact he's English. Look at a player for what he is and what you're seeing. If you're telling me there's more cons than pros with this guy, I can't help you. I generally can't. So, Souls, I'm bringing you in. What's your thoughts, mate? Quickly about Ben White.
Yeah, I said it before the window opened. I want Ben White at Arsenal, and that was one player I was not standing down on, because I did say he'd be integral to the way Gabriel plays, and to get someone in partnership with Gabriel. The one thing that you need to understand is Ben White is a sweeper defender in terms of he's a lot deeper than what Gabriel is a highline defender who's going to go in for the higher tackles, higher up the pitch. But then what that does, it creates that risk and reward factor. What you then need is someone like a Ben White who's a little bit deeper, who can sweep up, who can, he's got the pace. And I've always said it, every big European team who wins the Champions League, who wins league titles, has one formula in their defense. You've got one, dominant monster in centre back, and then you've got one sort of recovery bit. And it doesn't mean that one is better than the other. It's not that the other can't do that job. It's just what their role is in the team. And if you look at, I always say Ramos, Varane, for example, PK Poyo, for example, when you look at these partnerships, the reason why they were so dominant and why they've been looked at in terms of some of the best partnerships in world football is because they both had individual roles that they carried out within their teams. And that's why I found it surprising and I get the Koundé thing, because he was linked to Chelsea, he was linked to, but you know why Koundé has got such a big name? Not because of his defensive work, but because he can drive from the back and score goals. That's the only reason people have even thought about Koundé. If you ask someone, how does Koundé defend? They wouldn't tell you how he defends because they haven't watched him play. Because I've seen some outrageous defensive take. Yeah, and I'm like, what the fuck are you watching? Like, have you seen this guy defend? I'm not, by the way, he's a good defender. I'm not saying that he's not. I know. It's the way they say he defends. I'm like, what are you watching? And then when I ask him, like, okay, how many games of Sevilla have you actually watched? Because be real, you're not watching Sevilla play flipping Mallorca or like Levante and stuff like that. But I like La Liga. That's my second league. I actually watch more La Liga than I probably watch Premier League. That's just because that's the way I've grown up. I've always watched Spanish football. I love the intricacies and the tactics that I use. And I'm like, when I hear it, I'm like, you've definitely not watched these two. And it's the Fofana shout and everything like that. And what you also need to understand is the pressures are different. In terms of the intensity of the Premier League, it's different to what it is in La Liga. La Liga is a chess game, I call it. Whereas in the Premier League, it is intense. You've got no space, no time. A lot more technical, players, physical players, and every single week is different.
Sambi will find out. Like I said, and it's not just when I mentioned about midfield players, Kesh and Ryan. I'm going to bring in Ryan actually. I actually think it's a problem with midfield players generally. Personally, it's not a Sambi Lokonga thing where. They do. If I played as a striker, one thing I would be having murders in the changing rooms with midfield players every week. Release the ball quicker. Stop taking the extra touch. I think that's a midfield problem in football. You watch a lot of football. It could be Premier League, La Liga. Midfielders take too many touches. That's why when you look at someone like Xavi's a perfect example. Oh my God, what a footballer! If you rarely would ever see that man play a game of football where he take more than 2 touches.
No.
Busquets right now. Yeah.
Somebody
Busquets.
in the chat or in YouTube history, go and find me the footage where that guy taken more than 2 touches of the football. Because he doesn't. Because they know it's ingrained in them. The ball moves quicker than you.
Yeah.
It's simple things. But RJ, I'll bring you in, bruv. Again, like I said, Ben White. Talk about Ben White a little bit, and obviously, I think that's the main thing we kind of was talking about Ben White in terms of how have you seen how have you seen his development in the time you've seen it, like from being linked to actually buying him and what you've seen.
Well, I'll be honest. Of course, I wasn't. How can I explain this? I wasn't enthusiastic only because I hadn't seen much of him. So that's my fault, my own. I did say this from the beginning.
But at least you said that. A lot of people were just coming out with claptrap.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, we watched him every week. Yeah, of course you did.
No, you haven't. You haven't watched him. But go on, RJ, go on.
And that's the thing, and that's the problem with a lot of players. But I will say this: I've had said, "Oh, I'm not sure," and but he still had a lot of time to impress me because I never really said, "Oh, get out or sell him." Not that reactionary. But in the last few games, I mean, damn, this guy has made me shut my mouth, and that's what I want. I want people to shut my mouth and impress me. This guy is actually getting forward, and it's like I see like the direct replacement for David Luiz because, in a sense, I was kind of worried about Gabriel's partner. What are we gonna do? Is Saliba gonna get the go? And that's another thing. Like, how is it gonna get complimented? Because I felt David Luiz was probably Gabriel's best partner last year. That's just my personal opinion. Yeah. But the way Ben White transitions the ball and actually goes into the midfield, and the goal for Watford as well, especially. I mean, damn.
Yeah, the hand in that. Yeah.
Definitely. 100%. And this is the thing. He's very brave. He's confident. I don't want to see more. Like I said, I hold my hands up, and I want to hold my hands up because I've always said this. I need players to prove me wrong. If I got a little nerve on the back of my head, that's only because I want the best for Arsenal. And that's normal. Personal things. Because a lot of fans have personal things on players. I think, shut up.
They do.
If you was out there training the way they're training, etc., then you'd feel the same pressure they would feel. So just give it a rest. Do you know what I mean? So for me, keep doing what you're doing, Ben. Sorry, Benjamin. Sorry,
Benjamin. Yeah, right. Yeah, sorry, Mr. White. If you're watching, Benjamin White. We're sorry. Lottie, if you're in the chat, we'll make it happen. We'll make you meet. I'll try my best to try and get you to meet Ben White, man. I don't know if I got
Benjamin White. Come on now.
Got the contacts yet, but I'll try, man.
I don't know if any of you've noticed. I see a lot of comparison. Like they try to put up a little fight between Ben White and Saliba.
Yes.
One of the things that our fans seem to be doing is looking at Saliba's passing and other little stats to do with bringing the ball out and things like that. And like I said, the French league's got no relevance to the Premier League. Yeah, Premier League is the best league that there is out there. And another thing is, if you actually open your eyes and watch both teams play and both players, you will see why Saliba is dominating in certain stats. Because if you look at how we play, yes, Ben White does get on the ball, but not quite a lot because we tend to use Ramsdale a lot as well. When you see Marseille playing up from the back, it's Saliba that's leading their attack. A lot of our attacks coming from Ramsdale. So open your eyes and you'll see why. If you put Ben White in that Marseille team, his passing stats will be up there exactly the same. Yeah,
well said. Absolutely well said. 100%. And big up Aaron Ramsdale, because you know what? Yeah, I honestly, it's crazy. From when we linked to him to getting him, and he sees interview on Arsenal.com, and I think some of the Arsenal fans who are old enough to have children will probably want to adopt him. They love him. They just love him.
I'll adopt him, and he's older than me, I think.
Yeah, I love him. I do. He's very, very infectious, and it rubs off on the team 100%, man. But yeah, guys, big up to the people in the chat. It's been very, very lively. Thank you for tuning in. And as I always like to say, people, if you don't know what to do by now, then you should know what to do. And there you have it, people. I do not forget my what do you call it again? Audio listeners, of course, yes. This will go on my Spotify and Anchor, of course, because this is weekly surgery. It has to. But yeah, guys. So yeah, Saka's obviously 100 appearances for Arsenal. Well done to him. Call up for ESR. A little bit belated late to the England squad, and also our kingpin Calypso King in Gabriel getting his call up for the Brazilian squad. I don't know who's ahead of him in terms of centre backs in Brazil in terms of the first team, but they better have a look over their shoulder because he's going to be in that team very, very quickly. If he counts on the form he's shown at Arsenal, but I must do my research about that. Watch a bit more Brazil national team, but there's plenty of time for that anyway. But yeah, guys, I just want to change tact completely. Actually, it literally came to me probably about half an hour before we can do the show. There's a lot said about managers, and I'm going to give you some context, obviously, and then I'll get you guys to come in to want to hear your thoughts. Obviously, we've lost some managers recently. Dean Smith, that really did shock me, if I'll be honest with you. But I take into consideration the run of form going back to last season that I don't think the club is particularly happy with. But I still, nevertheless, I was still shocked by the news that came through when he was at the game with me and Souls of Watford. Daniel Farker has obviously gone at Norwich, and Eddie Howe is back at the helm. Big job for him. Massive opportunity. Stevie G, the new Villa head coach. Massive opportunity again. Has some excellent players to work with, by the way, Steven Gerrard. So it's not like you're coming into a team. Yes, Villa are struggling. I think they're 17th, if I'm right. But he has some very, very good players to work with, Steven Gerrard. Lampard obviously been linked with Norwich. I guess the question I will put to you guys is what does make me laugh a little bit. And obviously, we have no allegiance to Frank Lampard, Eddie Howe, Gerrard, or those guys at all, because obviously we're Arsenal fans. But it's like with Eddie Howe, for example, good coach, good young English coach. You know, he's got experience. But then what I notice when it comes to football fans, when him and probably certain other managers get linked to their club, we're not sure. You know, you've got to think about that. I'm not really sure you're going to cut it. And I think, but you know, Lampard will flop, Gerrard, it's risky, it's all these things that, you know, and I just think to myself, in people's everyday life and their career and their working job, you want to progress, you want to get to the top of the ladder. It's like people telling you in your individual workplace, you're not going to make nothing of yourself, you're going to flop, you're going to fail, you're not going to achieve what's the difference? What is football fans' problem? These are ambitious young guys. They want to forge a career in being top, you know, hopefully elite coaches. What is the problem? It really baffles me. And they're gonna. Why are they gonna flop? What? Because they're English. I don't understand the legitimate reasons as to. I don't get it. Eddie Howe's got experience. He's still young, but he's got experience. Lampard, they have to start somewhere. Gerrard, they have to start somewhere. Our own manager, Mikel Arteta, yeah, maybe ideally, yes, he's not the guy wanted, but people have to start somewhere when they need an opportunity. So listen, maybe it's just me, but I'm gonna start off with Souls actually. Do you think I have a point, or what do you feel in terms of what I've said in terms of regards to managers being given an opportunity and the risk factor towards it?
I think firstly, like as fans, I'm not going to say all fans, but most fans probably don't understand the tactical side of football, and they don't watch these managers enough to understand kind of what their style is, what their philosophy and values that they bring in are, and kind of what their expertise is, should I say, because, you know, like Big Sam, for example, if you're in a relegation battle, he's really good at getting you out of them, but he's not really going to progress you any further. Then you've got your Eddie Howe, for example, who are rebuild managers who are going to probably stabilize you within the Premier League, but get you to like sort of that mid-table battle, but probably aren't going to push you further. And I think that's what people need to start to realize is when you look at their careers, you need to understand kind of one of two things. what is their tactical style and what is their values and ethos that they're going to bring in, because football is massive on values and ethos in terms of mentality and kind of the culture you bring into that club. But then secondary to that, do you match the tactical philosophy that the club are, building towards? For example, like if we bring a Conte into Arsenal, it's going to collapse because it's not the way we've built this team. Isn't for a 3-back formation. I'm not saying it's a negative style of football, but it's not built for a 3-5-1-2 or that sort of style of football, where we're more built towards this sort of attacking 4-3-3 Klopp style, Ten Hag, Luis Enrique's, them sort of managers are going to be really well suited for this. And I think once you start to understand those sides of things, kind of when you look at Gerrard's Rangers, for example, a high pressing team, solid defensively, but then very good attackingly as well. They do leak goals, but obviously that's due to player quality for me rather than, but they're a very hard team to be at the level he's at. When you look at Aston Villa, traditionally, kind of when you look at them with Jack Grealish, obviously, that's the best that we've gotten from them. They were a hard team to beat, very, very solid attackingly. But even when you look at the players they brought in, like the Leon Baileys, Danny Ings, you've got Ollie Watkins still there, McGinn, Douglas Luiz, Buendia, for example. These are the types of players that, Gerrard would really suit. And I think when people start to say flop, it's because they don't understand the tactical side of football and they don't understand how coaching actually works.
It's such a lazy word that gets thrown about so easy. It winds me up, man.
But they have no backing to it. They'll just say because he's got no experience. But then my question is, but do you know their style and do you know what kind of players complement that style? Then yes, you can. It's like if, for example, like Gerrard went to, took over from Conte, I'd say, wrong appointment. He probably will flop. But taking over from Dean Smith, who plays a similar style of football, it's a very sort of it's one of those where it just makes sense for me. I don't think he'll flop. I think he'll do well with them.
Yeah, no, well said. So, Arj, I'm going to come to you, same question, but I'm going to add a little bit more. Like even for example, I think I had this conversation with Souls. I'm sure it was. I saw someone tweet about Eddie Howe, right? Talking about Newcastle, they want to be ambitious and basically they're intimating they need to get more of a top level elite coach. And I'm thinking, hold on a minute, but Newcastle sit in 19th position in the Premier League. Who do you expect them to get in? That's to me. Listen, that's to me. It's a disrespect to Eddie Howe personally, because it's not like he's been plucked out of a coaching role in a youth team set up, in League 1 or 2. He's been around the block. He's been around a long time, Eddie Howe, even as a young man. But that's the kind of thing, so you kind of highlighted, really. That's the kind of thing, like, he's come out with such a loose comment. Like, I don't understand it. The man hasn't even got the job yet at the time, I don't think, at the time when Eddie Howe. But, like, RJ, that's things like that. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Like, well, who did they expect to get then? I don't understand that. And that wasn't from a Newcastle fan, by the way. That's from within our fan base, I said that.
That doesn't surprise me, does it?
Well, hit me with your thoughts, bro.
No, I don't. I don't. I'll be honest. Same thing happened with a lot of these managers out here, man. They always get judged so quick. And I think the bonus for Newcastle fans is the fact that Eddie Howe has been out of a job for quite a while. So you don't know what he's been cooking up in that brain of his. All right. So even when he was talking, he still had enough time to look at the team and think, okay, what can I do with this? What kind of style do I want to set up? Because it's a blank canvas. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Going into a Newcastle. And this is the thing. People are only saying that because of the takeover. If Newcastle didn't get a takeover, they wouldn't have said that about Eddie Howe. I guarantee
they wouldn't have said that.
I guarantee that. And my thing is, even Eddie Howe said it as well. I mean, there's no guarantee we're going to stay up, but we're going to try. And that's what I feel is important, because you don't want a manager to come in and be like, all right, cool, fuck it. We're going to stay in the league. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Then we're going to spend big.
He chose his words very, very carefully. Yeah.
And that's how you have to be. And I feel like nowadays in football, it's just, I like to call it the FIFA generation. I think Keshka can support me on that one as well. Because, and I know you Souls, we had this conversation. Yeah, but, this is the thing. I've said this so many times. They look at people, they think, oh yeah, this guy's good, and then it comes back to managers. It's like Lampard, Norwich was the right fit for him. because I thought it was too soon for him to go to Chelsea. And we all
100%.
saw what happened with that. Okay, first season it worked out well for him. When he started spending that money, it didn't work out very well. And then obviously his time was cut short. Him going to Norwich, if it happens, well, I think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I think.
But if it happens, I think it makes sense. Steven Gerrard, same type of thing. I think it makes sense for him. He's done well with Rangers. Okay, different league and etc. But I mean, coming into Villa,
it's a big opportunity.
He's got
big
good
opportunity.
enough players to kind of build with, you know. So,
no, well said, man. I was big up to you, RJ. So, Kesh, to bring you in, man. Like I said, man, that you probably heard most of what the guy said, and just what's your thoughts about manager opportunity and fan reaction as I highlighted just about 5 minutes ago? Yeah, what's your thoughts, man?
Listen, people just tend to get carried away, you know.
Yeah.
Yes, Newcastle's got the money, but doesn't mean that they've suddenly become a top club. Like,
exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, who are you to say they need to get a top manager? Man City didn't do it. They had to go get Mark Hughes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They had to work their way up. You have to start somewhere. Someone has to come in and be the fall guy.
Yeah.
Up until the journey starts, until they get to where they need to get to, where they're bringing a top manager. For me, Eddie Howe is a very, very talented manager.
Yeah,
like, I watched him quite a lot when he's at Bournemouth. When you actually looked at some of their set pieces that they was catching out, a lot of Prem teams like playing it at the edge of the box, someone dummying it, and someone shooting and scoring. Like, this guy's got ideas in his head. Like, he's no different to your likes of your Lampard, your likes of your Steven Gerrard. The only difference is that they've got a big name from being top players in the league.
Yeah.
That's it. You know what I mean?
But Howe's got experience,
If he was someone that was a great player in the Premier League, they'll be talking about him exactly the same. So, listen, I think he's the right man for the job. Whether he keeps them up or not, because I do think they're going to have a hard battle doing that. Hopefully,
100%.
Players in January make it a lot more easier. But he's the right man for the job, man.
You know what? And the thing is, he's not. I'm going to bring you in, Souls. Yeah, he's not going to compromise his playing style. He won't. He's mentioned that in the press conference. He's not going to do that. And he's had the time to reset and, I liked his interview from what I heard, what he was talking about, Eddie Howe. But yeah, Souls, come in, brother. You're going to say something, bro.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, it's funny because obviously, if let's say they get a top manager, that doesn't guarantee survival because top managers aren't survival managers. Like, I know it sounds bizarre to say it because, obviously we call them world-class managers like Pep's, your Contes, etc. But if you put them in a relegation team, they ain't going to do anything. They're not going to improve that team because they'll do it minimally because the ceiling of those players isn't high enough to what they coach. And they need intelligent footballers, which unfortunately Newcastle don't have. That's why you bring someone like an Eddie Howe in who has the talent ID, who understands, let's say, the Championship and League One and what they have to offer. Because, no disrespect, I'm not disrespecting Newcastle yet. They've got a strong history. But currently, an Mbappe ain't going to go to Newcastle. Don't matter how much money you're willing to pay them. But what they need to do is get like before Rafinha went to Leeds, for example, those are, gems that are hidden gems. That's what you need to get. And that's why I said, Emery would have been good for them. Eddie Howe's good for them because they're the kinds of players these guys, they find these kinds of players and know how to play with them. Yeah. So I think 100%. Certain managers suit certain things. And I think people forget that.
No, well said, man. Guys, we're gonna do one. We're gonna wrap up very, very shortly. I want to get you guys score predictions for Liverpool. Wow, what was I gonna say? I would say there's one game. I've said it. I think I said it last week. There's one victory I want to see Arsenal get because it's not happened for such a long time, man. It's to go and beat Liverpool away. I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't know what it's going to take for it to happen. It might not necessarily happen next Saturday. But that's one victory. Arsenal, please, man. Before I get to my 50s at least, just please go to Anfield away and win. Like, it's been a long time. People in the chat, Google it quickly. Tell it, when's the last time Arsenal won at Anfield in the league? It's a long time. It's a very long time.
Probably before I was born.
Guys, how do you? I'm gonna ask RJ first before we kind of sign off after Kesha and Souls. But yeah, generally, what's your thoughts about the game against Liverpool away, man? He's on mute. You're mute. You're mute. He's on mute.
Or you can unmute him as a host.
What's he done? There you go, bro. There you go, man.
Oh shit! No, on the real, I am scared. I am scared because that Egyptian man is a very scary man. Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know how we're gonna handle him.
Salah's at a different level at the moment. Yeah,
he's a different level, and I thought when we thought last season Salah was bad, and the other season, this one here, it's just like another level, isn't it?
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of worried, and I have a very good reason to be worried that our kind of winning streak will come to an end, or undefeated streak will come to an end. To be honest with you, and I hate being negative, but I have to be real. I have to be real here. I want to put my neck on the line for the boys. I would, but I don't know. I think Liverpool can be got at, though. This is the thing.
Yeah, Brighton showed that. Brighton showed it when he went there. You're right, 100%.
You know, but
100%.
it's what can we do, because we're developing ourselves.
Yeah,
and you know our back five, yeah, they look more solid. It's just how are we gonna score the goals? You look at their defense. Do you know what I mean? So
there you have it, lads.
All right, cool. I ain't gonna take loss. I'm gonna say it with chest. I think I'm gonna go for it. I don't want to lie to you.
You know what? Before you say something, it is hard because primarily it's natural for Arsenal fans to think we go to Anfield. We've gone there. We've got some Tonkins over the years, man. But you obviously you sort of put that together with obviously Arsenal's recent run of form. You're like, you know what? Could they go there and go? There's always that thing in the back of your mind. You're thinking, could they go there and go and get a victory? So, but Arsenal would have to be on job and a little bit of luck, to be honest with you. But RJ, you make a brilliant point because they can be got at. Brighton went there and played brilliantly at Anfield. It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. We saw West Ham the other day. Obviously, that was away for Liverpool, but West Ham been excellent this season, to be honest. So, but they can be got at. They can be, but yeah, you can even check. We'll come back to scorelines probably later. After international, we'll tweet something. We'll put something out on Twitter. It's fine. It's fine. Kesh, we're gonna come to you, man. Yeah, man. We talk about the Liverpool game, man. Just to get your sort of predictions and your thoughts coming up to the game, man. It's been a while. I think someone put in the chat 2012 was the last time we went there and won.
I think it was 1989, wasn't it?
No. Is this league game?
No, league game.
No, because all anything after said it. Yeah, Cazorla and Podolski said.
I can't remember that game.
No, I can't remember either. Was that away? Anything Arsenal? Let us know.
That must have been.
It has to be away.
Oh.
Yeah. It's been a long time. I know that. It's been a long time. Yeah, Kesh, what's your thoughts, man? Seriously.
Listen, they can be good, innit? Like,
yeah,
we just need to worry about ourselves, bring our A game, and take it to them. I think sitting off them will be the most dangerous thing you can do because then you're going to be under pressure throughout the whole game. And when you start on the back foot, it starts to come out of that mentality to then go and attack them. So we need to go there, be strong, try and create a few early chances. And listen, we talk about that defense. I don't think that defense is what it was, mainly because Van Dijk is still trying to find his feet. But we've seen him got spun a few times this season already. I think Matip is the one that's actually holding the fort down, in all honesty.
Yeah.
Salah, you know what you're going to get from Salah. He's going to be consistent. He's going to
Mane's going to be doing overtime with VAR. So put that out there, sorry.
We just need to play to our strength, our strength. I think we've got a defense that we can rely on. For me, it's not so much about the win as of such. Yes, I want the win, but for me, it's about the performance. Go there and show that you can compete with these Liverpool, these Chelseas, these Manchester Cities. Put in a performance where you say, all right, this team's able to go to Anfield and actually make noise.
And put up a good show. Yeah. No, well said. It's true. You make a good point. Before I come to Solskjaer, we're going to wrap up. You make a good point, Kesh, because when I look at Arsenal's performance against Villa, I look at Arsenal's performance against we beat Leicester, and I look at the performance even on Sunday. if you to watch them games back, and I know RJ Arsenal vlog, Rowan, you confused me. I know you got vlog and blog for your channel, but you know what I mean. But if you watch the 90 minutes back, as Rowan, I know he does. If you watch them back, they were very, very different performances, very different, and we got the wins in all of them. So that would give me a tiny bit of confidence going to Anfield. We know what Twitter's like with Arsenal fans, because you imagine we went there and won. Oh my god, it's like the views will be up where Jesus Christ. Right, you know what? We'll book in a review. We'll book in a match review, just in case we win. But the views will come through the roof. but no, big up to you, Kesh. Yes, Souls, close out the show, mate. What's your thoughts, my friend, man?
No, you're right. Obviously, I always say when you first watch a game, you're watching it with emotion, so you are clouded a little bit, like as a fan. But the second or third time that you watch it, I am one of those who watches the game again, just to kind of get more of an idea of how we tactically set out. I've got a weird feeling this is the first time where we go and get a result against, Liverpool at Anfield. And the thing is, one thing that I do want to reiterate, that we're not competing with Liverpool this season. We're not competing with the likes of Man City. So a win or a loss here doesn't really define our season. Like, if we lose to Liverpool, it doesn't change our trajectory and it doesn't change our ambitions anyway. So, look, for me, it's let's compete. Let's not completely capitulate. That's the first thing I want to see. Second to that, I think we can't. The one thing I want the fans to know is let's not get into a meltdown just because we lost, because it doesn't change anything. We're not competing with, we're going for top 4, top 6. That's the aim, and I think that's where we need to be in line with. A good performance will go a long way, but I think what I think is going to genuinely happen, I think we're going to be a lot stronger in this game.
Yeah, I hope so too.
And that will confirm the mentality for me, that we have turned a corner in mentality, not in results, because I still think it's too early, but it's a mentality thing. If we probably will concede. I'm not going to sit here and go clean sheets all around, all of this. Ramsdale's going to put in a performance. He might do.
We did. Oh my god.
No. That's what I'm saying. Like, it might happen, but I'm just saying I'm going to be a bit real with it as well. But I do think this is probably the best opportunity we've had in a very long time to go and stamp our authority on this league.
Game.
Yeah, statement. 1-0, or even if we just scrap it to the 90th minute. Because the thing is, right, when we look at it, we had a weaker team when we lost 3-1, but that performance for me, I was kind of proud of, because I was like, right, to the depth we could have got to if Lacazette's finishing was a bit better. But because we went for the game is why we lost 3-1. And, mate, I think I'm going 2-1 Arsenal.
Oh wow, that's big. That's big. I might stick a tenner on that. That'd be a nice win, man.
You know what it is? I just think given that there's no obviously major injury, I mean that we don't get 3-4 players just out. Given that we've got most of this team together, I do think we go and make a performance, and I think this is the first time, because we've got the momentum, we've got the style, and I think we've got the solidity now as well. And if we can't beat them now, I think it's gonna be the question of when do we do this.
Yeah, 100%. Well said, people. Weekly Surgery is closed for episode 4. My amazing brothers have been amazing with their views and thoughts about not just Arsenal things, but many other things as well. People, like I said, smash that like button. Smash it now if you haven't done it before. And yeah, share and like all over the gaff, all over social media. It'll be fine, man. Big up to RJ for coming on. Thank you once again, brother. Tell the people where they can find you, my friend.
It's always a pleasure to link up in A&E with my brothers, as always. So, thanks again for having me on. Thanks again for the link up. And, we're better than the Justice League. Just want to say that. So if you want to catch me on Twitter, RJ Wills, no filters, as well as my YouTube channel, Ryan Williams ASC. That's it.
People, go and subscribe. RJ, we're gonna push it. We're gonna push it this season, mate. We're gonna push it. I'm gonna be ringing you. I'm gonna be ringing you, praising you. I'm gonna be ringing you, cussing you. I'm gonna be bullet pointing you, everything.
I need that.
But no, big up to you, but we're gonna give you a proverbial kick in the what. But no, keep doing your thing, man. Your brothers have got your back, so don't worry about that, bro. Big up to you, man. King Kesh, My bro, man. Good to get you back on, man.
Always a pleasure, man. Always a pleasure.
Where can the people find you to hear your amazing views, bro?
Yeah, you can catch me tweeting, doing some tweeting something that's getting the Chelsea fans all railed up or something.
Yeah, it is. It is. They're making up stuff that we didn't say. Yeah. They've been doing it for a few weeks now.
Yeah, you can catch me on the scroll Kesh, KESH8. You know, when I'm spelling my first name.
Government name getting baited, you know.
People, this is gonna go on audio, right? Just watch the show live on YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Kesh, much love, man. No, I love getting you guys on together, man. It's like I said, this was talked about for a long time, and it's good to get you guys on. We'll make it bigger and better. Don't worry about that, man. It'll come, man. And obviously, last but not least, Sol's my bro. Great meeting you last weekend for the first time. People in the chat, and obviously, listen, it's only just started, man. It's only just started, bruv. We'll keep it going. But where can the people find you, man?
Or raiding BT and Sky Studios, isn't it, fam? Like, you get me getting big time right now. I'm joking. So you can find me on Gooner Souls on Twitter. Pretty much that's where I tweet where I am. Obviously, there's some things in the pipeline that I'm working on. So hopefully things go. YouTube is taking a back seat at the moment, just because obviously I've started my new grad job and everything like that as well. So just need to focus on that a little bit. Once I've kind of got the routine, then I'll come back onto YouTube and, you know, but it's about building, isn't it, first, and networking.
Yeah,
and
networking, that's the key word, brother. That is the key word.
Find me on Gooner Souls. I mean, my DMs are always open if anyone needs advice or anything. So yeah, that's it. And obviously weekly over here.
Yeah. Big up to my brothers. Obviously, of course, as you know, people, your host, Albert JTV at AUMA57 Twitter handle, and you'll see me on some other platforms over the course of the season. As you will see, with probably a lot of retweets and a few other correspondence. But people, big up to people in the chat. Obviously, my regulars in there. Big up to all of you, man. Appreciate the support. Content-wise, I'll be honest with you, I haven't got a clue. What I will say is, hopefully, in this international break, you might see another episode of Life Story. So I'm working on trying to get some people on. So it should be interesting. But yeah, people, like I said, follow my Gooners on their Twitter handles you can see on the screen and channels. That is Albert JTV Surgery, over and out. Take care, people.